Hi there, this is Maude Fraser. I am sending this recording, or creating this recording, as a last memory of my mother. She is born on December 23rd, 1934, and passed away on September 6th, 2013, at 7:11 p.m. This conversation occurred on June 10th, 2013. I wanted to create this as a memorial to my mom, because I know she's a very private person, didn't want anything recorded. So even though she asked if I'm recording this, and I said no, I wasn't, it was just to make sure that we had something that we can pass on to the family and the children and anybody else that would like to hear it. So here's a conversation that occurred over breakfast about Mom talking about her life and how she grew up. So here you go.
I would love to have a paratha myself sometimes, but it's too much work for me.
Yeah.
Okay, is that your coffee?
No, that's your tea.
Okay.
So do you just feel like you're trying to just push yourself to do things?
Yep. All the time.
Mm-hmm.
It drains me of energy.
Uh-huh.
Like, for instance, now my back is hurting.
Yeah?
Even though I've got the back brace on,
Uh-huh.
I'm still feeling the pain going down my stomach all the way down. So that takes a lot of effort to even move my leg.
Uh-huh.
And it's just one of those things I have to do whatever I can to move around. So there's nothing more I can do now. Do the best I can and go from there.
Yeah.
I just don't want to become so immobile that somebody has to carry me around. I don't want that. This is why I was thinking of a wheelchair.
Mm-hmm.
So at least I can move from room to room without having to do too much.
Well, then your arms will hurt.
Well, that's a catch-22.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, with the shingles, this arm still itches and pains.
Your right arm?
Yeah, this is where I got the shingles. So it still itches and it pains.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to
Get down.
rub it with...
Down. What time did you get up? 7?
6.
6. Did you sleep okay?
Yeah, I think so.
So, how old are you now?
78.
You're born in what?
Yeah, 34.
So now where were you born?
Sargodha.
Sargodha.
That's where mother's parents were. They had the farms and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And every Christmas she used to go down to her parents' place to spend Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where she had gone. And one of her sisters, her husband was a judge, assistant judge, ADM as they call it.
ADM, okay.
Assistant district judge or something.
Magistrate.
Magistrate, yeah. ADM, that's correct. And they were living in the town area, not in the village.
Mm-hmm.
So Mom was there because it was close to go to hospital.
Mm-hmm.
So I suppose she got her pains and started doing everything, but I was born early Sunday morning.
You said lived in a village, so were they like were huts, or they're regular houses, or
Mud houses.
mud houses? Hmm. No electricity.
Lanterns.
Mm-hmm. Outside bathrooms or wherever.
Yeah, outside bathrooms. Yeah, sit on your haunches and let it go.
So.
Sweepers used to come and clean the parties.
I mean, well, okay, you said you go outside and let it go. Where's the potty if you're just going outside?
No, there were little planks like this.
Uh-huh.
Like in Iran, in the apartment,
Yeah.
we sat down.
Yeah, you got a little hole in the floor and you squat and do your thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it was just a little plank to put your feet.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a hole there.
Oh, okay.
So you just sit and do it and
Mm-hmm.
do your wash or whatever. And there was like a tray-like thing underneath where it used to collect.
Mm-hmm.
And then they had sweepers, the sweeper class.
Mm-hmm.
Used to come and clean those, remove those, clean them, wash them and put it back.
Mm.
And throw the shit somewhere else.
Mm-hmm. That's got to be a pretty shitty job.
Yeah. And they had the same thing at Dad's parents' house.
Mm.
I had to go to the outside
Mm-hmm.
party place.
So no running water inside?
Running water, yeah.
Yeah.
Not at my mother's.
No.
We had to pump water from the tap to even get a bucket of water.
So you had well water.
Well water, yes.
So what was it like growing up? I mean, was it just you and Uncle Bill, right?
Yeah,
And Uncle Bill was how much older?
4.
And was your dad around? No?
He died of cirrhosis of the liver when I was about 2.5, 3 years old.
Not from drinking or what?
Probably. He didn't drink before he was introduced to drinking by one of his fellow workers in the railways.
Mm-hmm. Just... No, you're fine.
It's my veins.
No, you had some food on you.
Mm.
So you grew up in the village, and what did your mom do?
After Dad died, Mum joined the railways.
Mm-hmm.
She used to check the tickets of people sitting on the trains.
Mm-hmm.
Ticket collector. So she had to do that. And
So how do you have children and go check tickets?
when she was expecting me, yes, my dad had already been asked to resign because he was so damn drunk. He never used to give the red flag for the train to stop at the station.
Mm-hmm.
He used to go right through without stopping for passengers. So he used to find out who the hell this driver is, the guard.
Mm-hmm.
And found out it was him, so they asked him to resign. So after he resigned and I got born, we were all excited because he was from a family of 3 brothers,
Uh-huh.
including himself. So I was the girl. Yeah.
So excited about
He was
having
a
a girl.
party. He was a party boy. He used to love to dance and socialize and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Very good heart, I believe.
But he died when you were 3?
Yeah, about
Ish.
3, yeah,
Mhm.
3-ish.
So how did your mom raise you and your brother all those years by herself?
with a lot of difficulty. And men on the side. That's what I didn't want Kelly to know about. So just keep it like that.
People have relationships. There's nothing wrong with that.
Better left unsaid.
You know, the truth is the truth. And that's what it is. That's just what it is.
I know it is what it is.
I mean, what do you mean by men on the side?
Boyfriends.
Okay, so what's wrong with that? You had boyfriends.
In those days it was taboo.
Well, in these days it's not, so you can tell the story because it's not taboo today.
I don't want to. Just please give me that
That's fine.
honor. She wasn't getting enough money from the railways.
Yeah.
She got 15 rupees a month.
How much was that?
Pennies. Not even pennies.
But that was in the 30s, so pennies were worth a lot more than they are today, yeah?
It was hardly anything. She could barely even buy wheat to make breads.
Mm-hmm.
My Nana, her father, from the village, he used to grow wheat. So he would bring a big sack of wheat for her.
Mm-hmm.
And then she used to have somebody, like from the railway people, the coolies who used to carry the baggage.
Coolies? Mm-hmm.
They used to come over, she used to call them. Then they would carry the sack and take it to the mill and have it ground into...
A mill, a mill was like a store? Where you went to have your grains ground?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's too hard to do it by hand.
Mm.
Too much work.
You can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
It's too much work to do a full sack.
At one time.
Huh?
At one time.
Yeah, the whole sack used to be done at one time and then she'd have it ready.
Okay.
And then you have a man or a woman servant who helps you with the cooking, helps you with the babies. And
But if she was only making a few rupees a month, how was she able to afford that?
she couldn't. That's why she had to have a boyfriend on the side who was sweet on her anyway.
Mm-hmm.
He's a police guy.
To help out?
So yeah, he used to support her and give her the money to get food and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But because of that, he was very abusive also.
Mm-hmm. To the children or just to your mom?
Me and my mother,
Mm-hmm.
very abusive.
What, and how, I mean, guess...
Take his belt off and belt us. We've done nothing. We're fast asleep. He comes home from night duty work as a policeman. And I don't know what rumors or whatever he used to hear at the station. Then he'd come and he'd take his belt off and start lashing out at us. And Mom would say, "What did I do? I'm asleep here."
Mm-hmm.
And then it doesn't stop at her. He would lash at me too.
You do that to Uncle Bill?
Maybe a couple of times. But most of the time I was home.
Mm.
Because Bill was sent to a school when he was 4 or 5 years old.
How was your mom able to afford that?
Through the church.
Mm.
And he stayed in Pindi where Jem was. So actually he stayed with her family. And her father was her father was the youngest of the three brothers. My dad was the middle one.
So then Uncle Bill went to school, like a boarding school or something?
No, it was a day school, but he lived with Jem. Jem
Okay.
and her parents.
And Auntie Jem, is she still alive? Is that the one I talked to in Canada?
Yeah. Vivian Meek, the police guy, is her son.
Uh-huh.
And Michael.
Mm-hmm.
After that, then Mom arranged with some other diocese people. The diocese people who were running the boarding school up in Simla. So I got admitted there. But by then I was 7 years old when I started school.
7.
1941.
Mm.
I didn't even know a word of English because we spoke Punjabi all the time.
So Punjabi and Urdu are different?
Slightly colloquial. So when I went there, I didn't even understand what the teachers were telling me. Eventually I caught on. And that teacher's Vaughn name that I gave you,
Vaughn, yeah.
well, she was our kindergarten teacher. And she sort of took me under her wing and helped me learn English and all that. This is why my grammar and the way I write and all that, it is always grammatically correct.
Mm-hmm.
She was very good with that. So I really haven't forgotten that.
How long were you in school, I guess?
41 to 47 up
So
in
you-
Simla when they had the partition in 47.
When India became India and Pakistan?
That's when those who were prominently living in Pakistan side, we stayed there. Those who from India side, they stayed there. So I was from the Pakistan side there. So I had to come to the boarding school in Murray, which is an association with that school, run by the diocese from England.
So if you're there 7 years and you're what, 14 when you finished?
No, when I was 7 years old.
You said you went in at
No,
7 and you were there
I
for
was
7 years. 8?
And then from there, then I came to Murray. I was 9. So somewhere in between, I think I'm losing count. I remember being 14 years old when I went to Murray. So I might have been there a little longer. Instead of going there at 41, I might have gone earlier. When I was about 6 years old, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, I have to think back on that one. Then in 1948, I didn't want to go to the boarding school anymore because Mom couldn't afford it. And I was always getting this flack from the principal and stuff that you're just a freeloader or something like that, to that effect. So when I came home in December,
I mean, that's kind of a ridiculous thing to say. I mean, everybody's going to school. I mean, everybody is a freeloader, you know?
well, we all had to pay from kindergarten up. It was not a free education.
She's saying freeloader because Mom couldn't pay anymore? Okay.
Couldn't afford to pay.
Yeah.
So I told Mom, I said I'd just go to the boarding day school. But that meant that I had to go and live with my aunt, who was practicing as a doctor.
Who was your aunt?
Who?
Who was your aunt?
Aunt Gertie.
Gertie.
She was
Okay.
she was the eldest of the 14 children. So she got a pretty good education. She's a practicing doctor.
Mm-hmm. Medical doctor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there was this municipal hospital where she was given the job. So she used to take care of all these poor people or whoever had problems. And she did that all her life, the rest of her life.
Mm-hmm. But it was a paid position.
Yeah.
So doctors there still make good money, yeah? Or is it not the same as here?
I don't know what kind of money she got, but she did get a loader of her husband. They had one son. So Victor and I were about 6 months apart.
Mm-hmm.
His birthday was September, I was December. 3 months apart, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So we both went to the convent school.
Oh, so she had a son?
Mm-hmm. So by the time we had grown up, we were both going to the convent school. And that was in 48,
What are you doing?
49. I went to the 7th standard, 6th standard. Then I went to JC, Junior Cambridge,
Like junior college?
5. I went from 5th standard, 6th standard, then Junior Cambridge. Junior Cambridge was like pre-college.
Okay.
So I was there for 3 years in the convent.
Mm-hmm. Do you live there and everything, yeah?
Yeah.
What was your mom doing this whole time?
Railways.
Okay. Did you go back and visit from time to time, or what?
Yeah.
Was it close by?
Mm-mm.
No.
Just sit on the train and go. So I used to go freebie.
So, okay, because your mom worked for the train. Now I remember videos where these people were taking the train and it was completely packed on the inside. People on the top of the train, on the side of the train.
Yeah.
Everybody hanging on. That's
the situation.
That's what it was.
So then mother said that you go into second class or go into first class. Don't go into the interclass. Interclass where everybody joined and, overcrowded the room.
Mm.
So one day I was going back to her place, and I was sitting in the second class, and the guard came across, one of the checkers, ticket collectors.
Oh, you mean on the train?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I was sitting in second class, and he saw me, and he says, "Where's your ticket?" I said, "I don't have a ticket." He said, "Then you can't be here." I said, "Yes, I can. My mother works here on the railways." So he said, "What's her name?" So I gave the name. "Oh, okay. No problem, no problem."
And what was your mom's name?
Waterfield.
No, what was her first name?
Nellie.
Nellie.
Eleanor.
Mm-hmm. Eleanor was her middle name?
My middle name.
No, it's Nellie.
No, Nellie is short for Eleanor.
Oh, okay.
Her full name was Eleanor Laura Kellogg, maiden name, till she married, and then she became a Waterfield.
Okay. So how did she get her... I mean, Kellogg is not a Indian name.
No. Her father converted to Christianity from being a Sikh. Because her father's father was a reverend, but he was a Sikh. He
Is it
can
Sikh
have
or is it Sikh?
Sikh.
Sikh. Huh.
Which is why we got some fighter blood in us. Because the Sikhs are always very good fighters.
I think everybody has fighter blood in them. You mess with
Yes.
somebody's family, they're gonna put your, what do they call it when your hair goes up?
The turbans.
No, I'm just saying, when the hair on the back of your neck goes up and you're getting ready to fight. I think everybody has that. Okay, so then you go back and forth on the train. You were going to finish up school. You're going
Eventually,
to
I
school
ended up staying at home with mother.
Mhm.
And somebody referred an Indian master teacher who was very good. So we hired him to give me private tuition at home. That's how I finished my high school. Matriculation.
Mm-hmm. Matriculation and graduation.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
And that was like pre-college.
Uh-huh. But you had to pay for all your schooling all the way up to college, right? Then college was free?
College, never went to college.
Mhm.
Not free.
No.
Mm-mm. Could barely afford the school fees than to go to college.
Mm-hmm.
Never went to college. In the meantime, Bill went to army.
Mm-hmm.
He went to the army in 48 when I was still in the convent.
Mm-hmm.
He wanted to get out of the house too. So he joined the army. He thought he'd be a policeman so that he can get his back on this fellow who used to beat us up.
Mm-hmm.
But then he decided he'd better go to army. That's when he went to the military academy
Mm-hmm.
and became a good officer in artillery.
Oh, that's why he had his hearing problems?
Yeah. It all started new and got banged and all that so many times, poor fellow. When they would lever or something, they would release the lever and the damn thing cut his head open twice. So I said, all your brains have gone out of your head now. Do something else.
What, did he have to go into surgery type of thing, or just cut?
Yeah, he had
Yeah?
stitches in his head.
Uh,
Some lever or the other went
Yeah.
like a stitch.
I went range shooting, I don't know, last year sometime. And they say, don't put your hand up here because this thing pops back, right?
Yeah.
And first thing I did is I shot it, and they said, if you ever do it, you won't ever do it again. So I ended up shooting the thing. When the last round came out, it pops back and just cut my hand
Oh,
right across here. And I'm bleeding, holding the gun, I'm bleeding down my hand like this.
wow.
So yeah, I can imagine the big ones.
Yeah.
So, okay, so then he did the military. You're now done with school. What do you do after that?
Then I tried joining the airlines.
But you were how old then?
About 16, 17.
Is that when you started joining Pakistan?
Pakistan International.
Uh-huh.
And they sent me off to Karachi to get my training there. And Dad, I'd met him by that time.
Mm-hmm.
So he was sitting in England and he wrote to me, he says, I'll be coming back. Actually, it was before that we were engaged and he broke off the engagement. So then he goes to England and then he says, I'll be coming back and I want to come see you. I said, forget it. You broke our engagement. Why should I mess with you now in the airlines? I can find anyone I want from the airlines. So he says, no. You wait for me, we'll get married and I'll give you a baby by December. I said, really? That's all you want to do? Just give me a baby and lock me up in the house?
Mm.
You know?
But I
So-
thought you worked for the Pakistan International for a long time.
I wasn't
No?
there very long.
Oh, really? Oh, Scandinavian Airlines. You worked for a while.
Scandinavian is 8 years,
Mm-hmm.
off and on, every 2 years.
Hmm.
Every 4 years there was always a vacancy, and I would work with them for 2 years, because then Dad would get transferred and I had to go with him, of course,
Yeah.
through the Air Force.
So which was the house that I remember? I remember there was construction or something going on over there. I remember that I think there was a hole in the ground and a plank across that people were having to walk across. The construction was being done or something.
If you're thinking of construction, that was our personal house, which is made in South Circular Avenue in the Defense Society. That's the one where they were doing the construction and all that.
Hmm.
That was our personal house.
Okay.
Because Dad had a lot of insurance, which he started a long time ago in England.
Mm-hmm.
And then he withdrew all that money. And by that time he was still with the Air Force, I think. Yes. So he put all that money together and got people to construct that house for us.
Hmm.
So when it was ready, we all stayed there. That's when my mother came and took care of you whilst I was doing my night duties
Hmm. And what were your night duties?
with SAS.
Oh, okay. So you flew overnight.
No, I didn't fly. I was ground.
Okay.
I was secretary
Hmm.
to the station manager.
Mm-hmm.
Do all the paperwork and the typing,
I
correspondence.
thought you were a stewardess at one time.
That was when I was at PIA.
Okay.
That's when you can give that title stewardess.
Hmm.
But when I was with SAS, I was secretary.
Mm.
Ground hostess
Mhm.
/ secretary.
Mm-hmm. So ground hostess is someone that...
Does all the office work.
Is that when people come up and get the ticketing and stuff like that, or?
No, that's the counter people.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the traffic people. They do all that.
Mm-hmm.
I was doing the office work, the typing, correspondence with headquarters
Okay.
in Sweden and stuff like that.
Hmm.
And sending telexes and all that.
Telex.
Mm-hmm.
What is that?
Telex is it's like a huge machine like that,
Uh-huh.
and you type,
Uh-huh.
and the message goes straight. You put in the proper address, like an email address,
Uh-huh.
and whatever message had to go, you had after the flight would leave. We would tell the next station where the flight was going to land,
Okay.
like from Karachi to Rome.
Uh-huh.
Rome, next place. So we would send the messages to Rome. And so you have this many passengers on board. This is the load for the baggage and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And it's in the front and the aft or whatever.
Uh-huh.
And that all that detailed information had to go to the next station before they would arrive.
Huh.
And disembarking passengers, how many there were, how many transit passengers were going through Rome to the next destination.
Mm-hmm. Hmm.
Like going east is to go to Bangkok, Manila, Tokyo. But from here, going west is to go to Tehran first.
Mm-hmm.
Tehran, Rome, I forget now. And then all the way to Stockholm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then you did that work until probably when you started having children, right?
No. All of you were born by that time.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was just getting bored at home.
Okay, so you took a break from Pakistan International, had kids, stayed home,
Yeah.
raised kids.
Got married,
then,
yeah.
Then, so in between Tim and me, you went back to Scandinavian Airlines.
No, between yeah, that's about it. Yeah.
Because there was 10 years there, right?
Uh huh. Mm-hmm.
So you did that for about 8 years.
Uh huh. Yeah.
But that you did. I thought you did Scandinavian Airlines when we were in Tehran.
That's when we were transiting here.
Mm-hmm.
See, I quit in Karachi.
Mm-hmm.
I said I'm, on my way to the USA,
Mm-hmm.
immigrating.
Mm-hmm.
But the station manager in Tehran, he wanted one more worker.
Mm-hmm.
So headquarters sent him a message saying Maude has just resigned from here and she's going to be transiting
Mm-hmm.
on her way to the USA. So as long as she's there, just grab her and use her.
Mm-hmm.
Because she's familiar, you don't have to train her or anything.
Mm-hmm.
But I was trained for ground work. I was not trained to do flight dispatch,
Mm-hmm.
Calculating the weight of the plane and how much fuel it needed and stuff. That was all flight dispatch.
Mm.
So when I arrived in Tehran, because Dad was already there. When I arrived in Tehran early in the morning, there was Dal Hansen
Mm-hmm.
with a bunch of 12 roses, red roses.
Uh-huh.
And he says, "Hi, this is Dal Hansen." I said, "I know you. You came for one of our meetings to Karachi, so I remember you."
Mm-hmm.
So he says, "You are not, now you are officially an employee of SAS." I said, "I just quit SAS. I don't know how long I'm going to be here." I said, "So I'm just going to look around in the town and, just take a break and then when we're ready and our paperwork is ready, we just go to the USA." He says, "You'll get bored sitting at home. You work. And this is the work you're going to be doing." I said, "I can't do that. My math is terrible. I can't do that." He says, "In 1 week you will be doing it independently." So I said, "I'll give it a shot, but if one of the aircraft crashes and all that, it'll be your fault." So he says, "Don't worry about it, I'll train you." Sure
And you're
enough,
still in touch with Dal Hansen now, right?
yeah, I have been, but since the last 2 years I haven't heard from him, so
Mm.
he's pretty old.
Mm-hmm.
I think he has died,
Really?
yeah. Because I kept telling him, leave my email address with your sons if your wife is not, computer literate.
Mm-hmm.
Leave it with them. If something happens to me, tell them to just send me a quick email that you've died or whatever.
Yeah.
But I haven't received anything.
Mm.
So 2 years ago, the last letter I got from him, he didn't say anything about any illness or anything, but he was old.
Uh-huh.
He was about Dad's age. He must have been in his late 80s or early 90s.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah. Yeah, so I kept in touch with him, and
So why did we end up leaving why did we go from Karachi to Tehran? Why didn't we just come right to the States?
because that was a stepping stone to get out of the country, and Dad being in the Air Force,
Mm-hmm.
he could not work for any other person without permission. And I was already with SAS,
Uh-huh.
and I knew the boss of Iran Air.
Right?
And he asked me, he said, "Do you know of anyone who could be our writer for their manuals?"
Okay.
So I said, "Look, my husband is looking for a job." So he says, "Well, why don't you send him for an interview with us?"
So that's where you learn technical writing.
Technical writing, yeah.
So writing manuals, learning about how things work and writing
Yeah.
about it.
So he went for the interview, and he got the job.
Hmm.
So they said, "This is the amount of money we'll pay you. and this will be your job, and you write the manuals for Iran Air. That is how he got a contract for 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
That's why he was on contract for 3 years with Iran Air when we lived in Tehran.
But you said Dad couldn't because he was with the Air Force. But I thought he was retired. He had retired
He
from
was
the Air Force.
retired, yeah.
So even after you retired, you just can't go get a job somewhere?
He had to get permission from Air Headquarters. Yeah.
So he was able to get permission to work the
I had
Tehrani
to
job.
get permission to work with SAS
Uh-huh.
through the Air Force.
Huh.
You know. So it was the same for him. So they approved and they said, well, you know, and you're getting out of the country, just keep all the Air Force stuff as secretive or non-disclosure to anybody.
Mm-hmm.
And he had to sign a whole lot of paperwork and stuff. So he said, what the hell am I going to disclose? What the hell the Air Force?
Because he was ground support anyway, right?
Yeah, he was an engineer.
Yeah.
Right. So, yeah, he had to get permission to work for Iran Air. And he was earning good money there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we were able to buy this 3630 house.
Uh-huh.
And also maintain keeping you kids. I mean, it was all 4 of you.
Mm-hmm. Did he, when you guys came over, okay, so we went from Karachi to Tehran. You said we were in Tehran for what, 3 years?
Dad was, but not you all. I
Okay.
brought you all to America by then.
Because I don't remember being in Tehran for maybe a year.
You were, yeah, you about 10 months that I was working for SAS.
Mm-hmm.
That's as long as we stayed.
Okay.
And paperwork came through, so then we had to leave. So Dad escorted us to here,
Mm-hmm.
settled us into that house, the apartment,
Orient Apartments,
Orient Apartments.
51st and Harvard.
Yeah.
They're luxury condos or luxury apartments and stuff
Yeah,
now.
so we just hired that.
Yeah.
And that was also close to your school.
So who lived at the apartment there with us?
All 3 of you.
Really?
And me. I was.
So, what? I thought Sabrina and Ron were off at school, though.
Yeah, but they still lived there.
Okay.
All 3 of you lived there.
Mm-hmm.
4 of you, actually. Because you were going to Patrick Henry.
Uh-huh.
Ron was going to school. And then just next door was that dance club where he was teaching dancing. And he wouldn't do his homework and stuff. Didn't get good grades and all that.
Ron.
Yeah. And
Ron was teaching dancing?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Interesting.
And then Sabrina, of course, started going to college.
I thought Sabrina and Ron were going to college before we even came to the States.
Mm-mm.
But they were here already. So what were they doing while they were here while we were waiting to come over from Tehran?
No, you got it backwards. We sent Ron ahead of us
Mm-hmm.
because he had, from Pakistan, Dad had found out where this school was, where he could do business, business administration
Uh-huh.
and accounting. And that was the college that we could afford, he could afford.
Okay.
So when they accepted Ron, we sent him ahead of us.
Why Oklahoma?
Cheaper place.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody from the brochures and stuff that we got. Number one, it was cheaper to put him through that education.
Mm-hmm.
Dad could afford that. Oklahoma was a big, small town.
A big, small town?
Yeah. Cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
Wherever it was cheap, Dad went there.
Mm-hmm.
So we sent him, that's when he met Greg
Okay. Milligan.
Milligan, yeah.
Yeah.
So then they shared an apartment, and then Greg brought him up to speed about American life.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when Ron, he says, Mom, and told Dad, of course, he says, this is a big, small town. It's good to have the younger ones grow up in a smaller town and get used to the country.
Mm-hmm.
And then we could, figure out what to do later.
Yeah.
So this is why we stayed in Tulsa for 8 years.
Mm-hmm. So 76.
We came in 76.
Yeah. And then I started, Patrick Henry right after that? Or right when we came?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what month we came in? Was it summer?
July.
July.
July 6th is when we came. Ron had contacted us by telephone in Iran and said that why don't you come for the 4th of July?
Mm-hmm.
Make your airline arrangements.
Yeah.
And so what a big deal. So it's Independence Day for America.
Mm.
And they really have a lot of activities and stuff going. So I wasn't so keen. I said, no, the airlines are already booked for the 6th. Once we're there, we'll see many more 4th of Julys.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't make sense to rush, hurry up and wait.
Yeah. You've done that, I'm sure.
So 6th of July 1976 is when we came here.
You guys want to go outside again? Want to go do it? Is that where you're waiting here? Yes? Want to go outside? Go. Go. Go, hurry up. So 6th of July, 76, we come to the States.
Yeah. Get established in Oriental apartments, put you to school.
How long were we at Orienta?
8 years we stayed in Tulsa.
No. How long were we at the apartments?
Probably 2 years.
Hmm.
Then we got the 36 hours.
So I don't really remember the apartment much.
No, you were oblivious to what's going on around you. You had no interest. All you used to do was just go to school, do some of your homework, eat, and you would go downstairs and just go play on your own. Because I could see you from the window.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'd call you in, of course, to do whatever had to be done and give you your bath and dress you up and take
So,
care.
describe the apartment for me, because I don't remember it at all, really. I mean, I remember eating there, and I don't remember where I slept. I don't remember if we're all in the same bedroom. I don't even remember what the layout of the apartment was like. Do you remember the apartment number?
Apartment number, no, I don't remember it off the top of my head right now.
But I remember when you come into the apartments, I think it was on, when you drive in, there was a left side and there was a right side for the main road. I think it was on the right side. Wasn't it?
As you come up the stairs, you come into the apartment.
Mm-hmm.
You had the dining room right there and the kitchen.
As you come in.
As you come in, the dining room was there, the kitchen was here. You walk through and there's a big hall. This whole thing was one big hall,
Uh-huh.
including the kitchen.
Okay.
So we took a small area and put some sofas there
Mm-hmm.
for seating and all that.
Uh-huh.
And from this hall here, you would go down this way.
Mm-hmm.
And the bedrooms were there.
Okay.
There were 3 bedrooms.
All right. I heard you. Come inside.
Yeah, the 3 bedrooms were there. Then there was one storage room. And of course the bathrooms were there. I think there were 2 bathrooms.
So were you and Dad in one room, and then the kids were in other rooms?
Dad
or?
was not there.
Dad wasn't there.
Not at that time. He only came there when he was visiting from Iran. but he never stayed there.
Mm-hmm. Oh, because he was still working that other job.
Yeah, he was still in Iran. The only time he stayed was when he came to the 3630 house, when he quit. Not quit, but when he finished his contract with Iran.
Uh-huh.
That's when he came and settled down with us in the Tulsa house, the 3630 house.
So we moved to 3630.
From Oriente.
76, 70, so what, 78?
Yeah. Yeah. That's about right.
So, what was it, you and Sabrina in one room, or you had your own room and Sab had her own, and the boys were in?
No, Dad and I were in one room.
No, going back to the apartment.
Oriente?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Dad and I were in one room.
But you said Dad... Okay,
Well,
only when he visited.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, I had put you two older boys, Tim and Ron, in one room.
Okay.
And you were in my room.
Okay.
Because you were the baby there.
Right.
And Sabrina had her own room.
Uh-huh.
That's how I remember it. I could be wrong. But that's how I remember it. And then Ron was out getting cars and stuff. And
Getting cars?
you know, second-hand running cars to be able to go to school and college.
Okay.
And then Tim bought his own car because he was working also. He started working part-time.
Mm-hmm.
Sabrina was working also at one of those stores.
Right.
The clothes stores.
That's why Ron had to get good at working on cars.
Yeah.
And keep them running.
Well, he did a lot of that with Dad on the Morris Minor back in Pakistan.
Okay.
So he had a lot of
Mechanical knowledge.
mechanical knowledge about cars and stuff.
Out of necessity.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So he went and bought the Galaxy. And
Galaxy.
yeah, that's the one I used to take you to in school. To your school, I used to drive that just round the corner.
Uh-huh.
But I was so scared because it was automatic.
I remember the Mercury Marquis. That's the only...
That came afterwards.
After that.
The Galaxy was the first car that Ron got for us. And then he got rid of that, and then he got the Mercury Marquis, which was nice. I like that.
So did you just say, Ron, this is money I have, go find something?
I didn't tell him anything. He was doing it all on his own.
Really?
His own initiative, yeah.
So how did
Finding us different cars, then he got the Opel.
Okay.
You know, first Opel was the grey one, which I used. And that's when I...
Max, come here.
I don't know if I started. I know I used to use the
What are you doing?
Opel to go to Anderson Clinic.
Okay.
Yeah. And then he got the second Opel. The first one was the grey one.
Silver.
Or silver grey.
Silver? Okay.
Yeah. Then the second one, I think it was a bluish one, or we had it painted blue or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And so we had two Opels. And then we had the Marquis.
The blue one is the one that eventually is the one that Ron still has, right?
Yeah.
That
He is keeping it for parts and stuff.
Now I think Madeline crashed it or something, didn't she? Or
No, not the Opel.
so the Opel's made it from 78 or 79,
Yeah.
all the way until now.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, when he was hauling them around.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was into cars very much. And that's how we sort of got all these different cars for everybody. And Tim got his, I forget the name of the car, the dirty green car.
Green.
And he used to practice how to drive on snow in the parking lot of the bank that was next to us in Oriental Park.
Green. Did he have? He had a Volkswagen.
Volkswagen, yeah.
He had the Volkswagen.
Yeah, it was the old Volkswagen.
Not the van. It was like a station wagon.
Yeah.
The engine in the back.
Yeah.
And it smelled like gas all the time. Inside. I think it had more gas inside than outside. I remember
So
that
he
one.
used to have fun in that. He used to go practice in the parking lot of the bank that was next to us at Orienta.
I think he took me with him on that.
Yeah, and I gave him such a shouting because I said, "You want to kill that child?" I said, "Kill yourself, go do it yourself, go practice. But don't take John with you." He said, "Mom, it's fun for him, he's laughing his head off."
Oh, that was at the bank next door.
Yeah, there's a bank next door
Yeah,
in
the big
the
high-rise.
parking lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's where the dance studio was.
Yeah.
On the side also.
Yep.
Rented by the dance studio from the bank.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, yeah, and then he of course got his job, Tim, and he used to come and go in this car.
Which job was that? Was that the one at the Sipes?
I don't know. Yeah, probably groceries or something
Yeah.
like that. I wasn't paying much attention, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever worked, it worked, you know. The boys were doing this, that, and the other, bringing in their own little pocket money, which is fine with me.
Yeah.
And, I mean, that was one way of letting them get familiar with the environment of the USA and see how things work.
Mm-hmm.
And I was a little on the docile side, so I just went to my job and just took care of you all and took care of the house, and bills were paid, you know.
So would Dad sent money on a regular basis or
Yeah,
whatever, and then you
yeah.
just paid everything out of it?
Yeah.
So he was making more money in Iran to cover his living expenses in
Oh
Iran?
my gosh, yes.
And
Iran paid very well.
Mm-hmm.
I paid cash for my car when I was in Iran
Uh-huh.
with the money I was earning.
Yeah.
The Jian that I had.
Jian. Uh-huh.
I used to come and go to work in that.
Mm-hmm.
And when I sold it for the price I paid myself.
Well.
And I paid cash. When I had to buy the car, I paid cash for that car.
Come on.
Because I was earning very good money.
Come on. Get up here.
Yeah.
So then I was going to Patrick Henry, Ron.
He was
Let's
in
see.
downtown going to his college. Business administration and accounting.
I think Sabrina ended up going to the Tulsa Junior College, didn't she?
Yeah, she did.
And then Ron, when did Ron move out? He ended up getting a house somewhere, which I remember had a floor heater in it with hardwood floors. Maybe that was after.
That's the one that he still has.
No, I think he sold that.
The one that he's getting rent from.
No, that was, you're talking about Greg's old house. I'm talking about the one before that. When he was working for the power company, PSO or whatever.
Yeah, he had a house, but
And then he,
I don't know.
something happened and then he ended up getting rid of the house or sold it and then moved back home.
That was for a little while, yeah, I think so.
Because he lived with us at 5830 as well for a little bit too.
Yeah, that's when he didn't have a job after PSO.
Uh-huh.
So he was just sitting around doing odd jobs for the house. Because we didn't get full disclosure about all the problems that house had.
Uh-huh.
So he was there and he would be helping out while his dad was at work and I was at work.
Mm-hmm.
So eventually I said, you can't be living at the house like this and just doing odd jobs. Get out and find a job.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he was sort of like Dad. He was.
Are you talking about 5830
Yeah,
home? Okay.
yeah, he was like Dad. You know, slack off and let it ride.
So let's go back to 3630. When we were at 3630, we moved in there in 78-ish. 78 to 79, I guess, probably.
77.
77? I thought we came over in 76 and you said we're at the apartments for 2 years.
Well, I'm just giving you approximates.
Okay. And then we moved into 3630. And I remember Ron, Tim, and myself were in one bedroom. So in the 3630 house.
In the 3630 house, yes.
So when you have you go to the hallway goes to the right.
Yeah.
The back bedroom on the back left.
That was the master bedroom, which Dad and I originally had. Then we gave it to Sabrina because she started.
That's the back right.
That was facing the front.
Okay, so so you go in the hallway from the living room on the left-hand side.
As you enter, you're in the living room.
Yeah.
And then you take a left.
And that's the hallway. It's kind of like the little hallway.
Your bedroom was that side?
Yeah.
The master bedroom was this side?
Yeah, on the left.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was in the bedroom on the right, back.
With the other two children.
Ron and Tim.
Yeah.
So Ron and Tim were in one bed, and I was in the other bed.
No, had separate beds.
Everybody had separate beds. How do you get 3 beds in that little room?
Oh, you squeeze them in. Yeah.
I can't even picture 3 beds in there.
No, you all had enough space.
Yeah.
That was a big room, actually. That's why we put you 3 there. Yeah.
There's one closet on the left.
Yeah.
The 2 beds were straight ahead, and then my bed was on the right.
I don't know left or right, but
yeah.
3 beds were there, and you 3 boys were there.
Okay.
You put the boys together.
And then Dad was in the bedroom right beside.
Then you come out from yours bedroom through the hallway. Then you come into this small room, which was supposed to be a guest room. So we had our bed there. So Dad and I used that room.
That was in between that room and the kitchen.
And the kitchen,
yeah.
Correct.
Hey, stop. And then I remember, the only time I remember is Dad had that bedroom, and then you were in the front master bedroom with Sabrina.
Yeah, it's possible that I was there for a little while. Yeah. Because that room was too small and I used to feel very claustrophobic over there. So I took my bed over to Sabrina's because it was a bigger room. Then she started buying furniture and this and that, so I had to go back just for sleeping. I used to go to the room where Dad was, and if I didn't want to be there, I would go and sleep on the sofa. And then Sabrina started filling up that room with furniture and this, that, and the other, some of which I've got now.
And then Tim was the first one to leave. 3630 at 17?
Yep, to Caroline. To Carolyn.
To her apartment. And then what, Sabrina was working at MAPCO, or she got a job at MAPCO at the time?
She finished TJC.
Yep.
And she had taken up legal secretarial work. So then when she applied, she got the job, so she was working for MAPCO. And then she met John. Then they got married.
Right. But Tim was the first one to get married, right? No. Sabrina was.
Tim got married 4 years after Sabrina.
Okay.
And then after Sabrina was Tim, and then after Tim was Ron. And that also was, I think, 2 years after Tim.
Okay.
Something like that. I can look up my books and...
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah, I know it was a longer span between Sabrina and Tim to get married. But between Tim...
I don't remember Sabrina's wedding.
It was in Tulsa.
Was that in the backyard?
No, it was
Susie.
in the church.
Yeah, I don't remember that at all.
Yeah.
Do you have pictures of that?
Yeah.
Because I remember going to Connecticut for Tim's wedding.
Yeah.
I remember Dallas for Ron's wedding.
Yeah.
I don't remember Sab's at all. That's weird.
Well, you were pretty young, at that time, and your attention was always elsewhere. It was never with the family.
So inquisitive, checking things out.
Exactly.
Was I always taking things apart? When did that start? When did I start tinkering with things? And
I don't remember that, but I know you had this friend, Hightower,
uh-huh.
between you and him from the school.
Mm-hmm.
You all used to take some of my books and cut them out from the inside and pretend to be having a school book under your armpits. And you went to one place and you just there.
That wasn't Hightower. That was Keith Matlock.
Yeah, Matlock, yeah.
Hightower was my friend, and there was Judd Walker. I didn't spend a whole lot of time with Hightower and Judd because they were on the north side. We were just really good friends at school. Did they ever come over?
Who?
Hightower and Walker?
Yeah. They used to come and then say, let's go. You know, so I said, well, they're going together. Maybe they're going to just be together and do whatever they got to do.
I remember going over to Whiteside Park a lot and doing activities and stuff over there.
Yeah, but you all went to the store and then you got caught. And I had to come there and release you all from there. So I was in and out rescuing you from all these stupid things that you were doing with these other boys. Learning the wrong things, you know, by the wrong kids. So that's when all my problems started with you. You would not listen. It was never enough what you had, what you got in the house. It wasn't enough. You always wanted more, 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 more. And you're like that now too. You want more, more, more. But you...
No, not necessarily.
Yeah. It's there. It's in your blood.
I like nice cars, and I like a nice house. I like to
so
travel.
That's more.
Sure. I mean, who doesn't want more?
No, that's not the point.
Yeah.
That's not the point. Their personality is not yours. Your personality is yours.
Mm-hmm.
So your personality is I, me, and myself, and more. That's you. You are self-egotistic. You're very egotistic about what you want and who you are and what you want to do and what you need. And you've got a lot of sort of high thinking about yourself. I can do this, I can do that, nothing's beyond my reach, I can do this.
Sure.
You know, you're like that. You're an entrepreneur type of a person.
So where'd I get that from?
I was never like that, so I don't see if you got it from me.
And Dad was always in a job.
He was always in a job, never an entrepreneur, but his brother was like that.
His brother. Which one?
Morris, the oldest.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Is he still alive? Morris about
He asked me, his husband. Ambo and Dickie and Boji and Dinky.
Mm-hmm.
Their father. Also former.
And Morris was Germany?
Freddie.
Freddie is Germany.
He's
So,
still there.
okay. And where was Morris?
Most of the time. He was former Indian Army before Pakistan came into existence. And then afterwards he joined the Air Force, Pakistan Air Force. And so both the brothers were engineers. But Morris had to always keep pulling up your dad to get motivated and do stuff. He's never a motivated person.
Dad?
Yeah, he never wanted to study, he didn't want to do anything. He had no
He seemed he just like doing his thing, coming home,
Yeah.
and then that's it, I'm done. I've done my work, I'm done.
Exactly. And if the Air Force, of course, wanted him to join in some sports in the evenings, he would just sit in the car and go like a big loud sub, you know, like the Maharaja. he would go there, do his sports, hockey, soccer, whatever, and then come home. And then, of course, take a shower and breakfast and dinner is ready, and go to sleep and go to work at 7 o'clock in the morning. And the job would finish at 1:30, so he'd come home and have lunch. Then he'd have his nap. Then he'd go for sports. Then he'd come and have his tea. Then he'd have a shower. He'd have a shower. Then he's having his dinner.
Yeah.
Same routine.
Yeah.
You know, there's no diversion from that. Sometimes when I would need the car.
Did you only have one car? What
no,
car did we have at the...
Morris Minor.
No, I'm talking about... what car did we have at 3630? What car did we have at 5830?
5830, we had the Opel, which I was using.
Uh-huh.
And
That was a manual. Stick shift.
first one was stick shift, I think. Second one was manual, which I used all the time.
Right.
And I think the Galaxy had gone long ago. So you probably had the, what is the name, the Mach-E?
Mercury Marquis. Yeah. I don't remember having that for very long.
At the top of my head, I don't remember all the details.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah.
Hello there.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you guys?
Good. How's your headache? Gone? That's tea. That's coffee. Yep. There's 1 cup left approximately.
You want me to brew some more coffee?
No, there's
Right.
2 cups here.
I made her extra. What she needs. So then, 5830, you were working at, let's see.
Wallace and Bates.
Okay, so when you're 3630, you're doing the
Anderson.
Dr. Anderson stuff. He was the naturopathic doctor, or DO, or whatever.
Doctors of Osteopathy.
Uh-huh.
When we were at 5830, I was working for Wallace and Bates
Mm-hmm.
because I invited all the Wallace and Bates staff and all that for dinner at my place.
Uh-huh.
They all came to 5830.
We drove by 5830 the other day. You know, across the street where there was an empty lot,
Yeah,
where the floods and stuff came through? 2 new houses right there.
really. So is it still a flood area?
I don't know.
Because it was a floody area.
Yeah. I don't know if they've fixed it.
Tulsa, Tulsa has become known in the nation for its flood control now.
Flood
Because
control.
of all the gullies, the places that they built all over town that turn out to be soccer. They use them for soccer games and everything, but they are containment systems for overflow. And so Tulsa's one of the best known because we used to flood so bad,
Yeah.
and now we don't.
Oh.
So
That little yellow thing has got milk in it.
this,
Yeah.
so no, it probably doesn't flood anymore.
So anyway, when we drove back down
all
there,
the floods and all that, they just added more. More Oklahoma.
more was tornado.
Yeah, more
Yeah,
was.
but there was also a lot of flooding there.
Well, more. There hasn't really been another city in the nation. The really bad floods, I think, were in.
The most recent was Chicago.
No, the bad floods in Tulsa, I think, that took out Fred's mom's, their apartment and all of their furnishings and cars and stuff were in 70 and 72. And then they started building some really good after that. But I don't think it finished until the mid-80s that they got rid of their flood problem.
Mm.
So then,
Hey,
Dad was working with Unit Rig
come
at
Yeah.
5830,
Huh?
and then Unit Rig ended up having problems,
Are you guys missing?
and then they went out of business in what, 86?
Yeah.
Don't remember that.
86-ish, and then he wanted to get a different job, something
Then
more
he
stable.
was like a courier for some legal company in downtown. And by then I was working for Wallace and Bates, so I was supporting the household with my money. And then he got this job through one of his family friends who was in DC.
Which job?
Huh?
The courier job?
No, the NTSB job. His
I thought
friend from DC,
Uh-huh.
he told him, he says, well, this is below your dignity to be working as a courier for some people. He says, there's a nice job with NTSB coming up. Don't tell anyone I told you. I'll send you the forms, you fill it up, send in your application.
But he had to wait until the credentials or something came over from Pakistan, right?
Yeah, he had to go to Boston.
Uh-huh.
And he asked me, he says, I'm not working. But the only thing I can do is the money that you are running the house for with. He says, I need money to go to Boston so that I can get certification of my education. Otherwise I won't get this job.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, well, it's a matter of getting a damn good job, then go do it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we can eat dal and roti
Mm-hmm.
for 2 days, 3 days, it doesn't matter. You need the money, go. I'm here to support you, you know. So he went to Boston and got that. He
I
had
thought
to
it
go
took
twice.
I thought it took like 10 years for his credentials to come in. I didn't know he didn't
No,
apply
no,
for his
no.
credentials.
No,
Why can't you just bring your credentials in with you?
you can, but they don't recognize Pakistani.
Well, just like if you're a dentist, you have to. There's certain states you have to go take a test for. I mean, just because you have a license, if you're a dental hygienist, a dentist, a doctor, like all the vacation states,
Mhm.
you have to go retest.
Mm.
You can't just show up and say,
No, he had his college certificates and stuff from Pakistan, but they didn't recognize Pakistan's education.
Mhm.
This is why it had to be certified by American,
Mhm.
because he had some interviews and stuff
Right.
before he could be qualified.
Yeah.
That's how he got the NTSB job, because they qualified him and he had to go twice to Boston.
Uh-huh.
First time was the initial, and then the second time it was a confirmation.
Hmm.
It was sign paperwork and stuff. So that's how he got the NTSB job, and then he pushes off and I'm left behind with the kids and the packing and this, that and the other. It was just fine. I mean, had been doing it even in the Air Force.
Yeah.
He would go from one place to another and never bothered to come back and help or anything. I had to get the
Well,
grades.
he was starting the job and doing the job every day, right?
Yeah, but he could, like my brother used to take time off.
Yeah.
To come and go back and fetch his wife.
Yeah.
With all the bag and baggage. I mean, my brother
he
could
could have
take
coordinated
time
that a
off.
little better.
Huh?
He could have coordinated that a little better.
He didn't want to do that. I said, what the hell, you know? Come back. I mean, I'm here with the 3 kids. And you want me to get all these damn crates and pack up the whole house? I need some help. He said, oh, you can do it. You're a tough one. Yeah, right. So, anyway.
So then he got the job with the NTSB.
And
We
he was there
moved.
11 years.
We moved to the apartment in Alexandria.
Yeah.
I remember driving around looking for houses and
This
stuff.
was that utility house or something. It was all one big room. with
Yeah, it was an efficiency in the high rise.
efficiency, yes.
Wakefield Towers. Right? Wakefield?
Wakefield was some address, yeah, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we were there for, what, a year?
I don't remember whether it was a year or 6 months old. Because after that, then we found 3630.
Mm-hmm. No, 3630 was...
No, wait.
No, after
that-
there was Parkman Court. We went directly from there to Annandale, Virginia.
Yeah.
And you had the townhouse condo over there. Yeah.
And by then I was with the police department.
Mm-hmm. That was Fairfax.
Before I went to the police department, I was with that paper company, Loyal Services from Boston.
Oh, yeah.
I worked with them. And then from there I went to DMV. I started working for DMV,
Uh-huh.
a branch of DMV.
Uh-huh.
And then the police department had a vacancy.
Mm-hmm.
And my boss from DMV, he encouraged me to apply for the job.
Right.
So that's when I was with the police department for 18 months.
Mm-hmm.
Then we came here. Because by then Dad's situation was pretty bad medically.
Uh-huh.
He had to resign.
Right.
So we came here, 95? And he died in 98.
Yeah.
That's the end of story.
Well, no, not really end of story. You then came here, so 98, and this is 95, and this is 2013, so you've been here 18 years? You've been in this house 18 years now.
Mm-hmm. Since 95.
That's a long time.
Yep.
This is the Trammell house.
And this is the house that I put a lot of money into. All these windows I put in.
Mm-hmm.
The carpeting I put in. Twice. And sliding cabinet in the kitchen for my dishes and stuff.
The sliding cabinet?
Yeah. When you slide that out, the deckcheese and stuff are there, the pans.
Yeah, just a sliding tray thing, yeah.
Yeah. That wasn't there, so it was just stacking, piling stuff.
Yeah.
It was hard. So when I saw something being advertised, I called them and I got it fixed.
Mm-hmm.
Which wasn't cheap, it was expensive, but I said, what the heck, it's my convenience. I'm going to live here, so I might as well do it for myself. But the windows, I got all the windows changed because there was no efficiency in keeping the cold in or keeping
Yeah.
the heat
Did you
out.
see a difference in your
Definitely.
energy?
Definitely. Oh yeah, after these were put in,
Mm-hmm.
the bills went down. Plus it was comfortable.
Yeah.
You know, you keep it at one temperature.
Uh-huh. Get 15 minutes to my call. So then the only other thing is like after Dad died, 98? It was April of 98. No. Yeah, April of 98.
April 8th. Or the 9th. April 8th, 98.
And then and you had what, Bob in your life for a little while.
Yeah,
That was what, 3 years? Maybe?
5.
5 years.
Off and on.
Uh-huh.
I would kick him out, he'd come back. He was really a true pain in the ass. He had his own way of making his demands and doing stuff, and
He was ex-military too, right?
yeah, Marine Corps.
Yeah.
So he thought he was macho man, but actually he had a lot of things about him which I didn't like. He was just wanting a nurse with a purse.
Mm-hmm.
I believe he's somewhere in Arizona now with his other girlfriend that he got.
Mm-hmm.
Probably living off of her now. But then whilst he was still in Florida, he took this online course to become a it's a police type of work. What's it called? Shit.
Investigator?
Yeah, it's some sort of investigator with police or government related, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
It was an online course which he did. So when I saw that on one of his, he had set up like a small website,
Mm-hmm.
and it was still open, and he didn't know that I was checking on it. So when I did check on it, I sent him a congratulatory type of an email. I said, "That's nice that you're doing this." And straight away he cut me off from that.
Mm-hmm.
He sort of shut me down and no more contact. He didn't want me to know what's going on.
Yeah.
So I said, fine. And then the woman that he was living with in as a landlady, she was in contact with me. So I said, where's he gone? She said, somewhere in Arizona. I said, where in Arizona? She says, I don't know, he hasn't told me. I said, but you can tell. I mean, he would tell you,
Mm-hmm.
But he probably told her not to tell me. So I said, fine. You want to tell, don't tell. Go your merry way. So I said, at least tell me the town where he is, so that, because my daughter's in that area,
Mm-hmm.
and if I bump into him into the town, I can at least say hello to him. And she wouldn't divulge that, so I said, well, F you. Which is fine. I'm okay without him. He wasn't a very sincere person. He was a taker, not a giver.
So what would you say is your, if you were to do anything over again in life, what would you have done? Or what would you do if you had to do it over again?
I would probably go into the medical field that I did with the Andersons.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed that work. And SAS, of course.
Mm-hmm.
What, baby? What? Okay.
But why? For the job enjoyment or the...
I enjoyed being with patients and taking care of them.
Uh-huh.
I've always been like that. Somebody gets hurt and all that, I'm the first one there to help.
Mm-hmm.
If I have knowledge, of course. Yeah, I've always been, or if I had the opportunity to start something new, I'd probably be a veterinarian.
Hmm.
Yeah. Because I hate to see dogs suffering.
Yeah.
And if I can do anything for them to relieve them of their pain and anguish,
Mm-hmm.
and do psychiatry with them, telepathically communicate. Because I have a little DVD there, a booklet also, as to how to massage them and all that.
Mm-hmm.
He was pretty rambunctious when I got him.
Mm-hmm.
So I read that book and I saw how to do certain things. So he's calmed down so much now because I was giving him that massage that he needed.
Yeah.
So now that worked for him. He'll probably work on other animals too. And telepathically.
Did you want to have? Did you want to have 4 kids? Is that what you thought you'd have when you were growing up? Or do you think you're going to have 15 or 20? Like?
No. Probably didn't give it much thought. It just happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because in that Fraser male family, there's a lot of sexual highlights in their lives. They're very sexual.
Mm-hmm.
Even Donnie is like that. Because when he came here, he says, I should not think of you as a sister-in-law. I would think of you as a girlfriend. Because in our family, the boys are always very highly sexually active. So, and he tried to sort of entice me to come and have sex with him. So I said, it's not going to happen. Your brother died here, and you want me to go and defile his bed with you? I said, no, not going to happen. He said, whether we could get married. I said, get married first, put the ring on my finger, put money in my bank, then I'll talk.
Donnie's still alive? No?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's in
Tempe. I think he's in Tempe, Arizona.
So, is that you?
Yeah.
Oh, that's your Kobe.
I hope he's not telling me that
Battery low? Tessa, stop it.
Netflix is telling me for Tuesday, Masterpiece Mystery.
Oh, it's alerting you to something coming up?
Inspector Lindsay Mysteries. Yeah. Iran elections Friday. Who will Ayatollah tap to be face of his life? Always couldn't something like that. Downton Abbey, we received that. Knitting Paradise. That's.
Oh, I was going to say, here's the difference on, you can play with that if you want. I got to get ready for my call. It's going to start in 3 minutes. You have your teeth in now?
Okay.
Let me take a picture.
My face is so puffy, it doesn't look nice.
That's alright. It is what it is.
What, baby?
Now smile.
Say something funny.
Farts and giggles.
What is this?
Those are the pictures I took.
Oh, of the aliens?
Well, of the
UFOs.
unexplained ship that I was able to take a picture of.
This looks like a human.
No. That's no. You don't. Ron said it looked like space sperm. This is the first picture. Let me show you. Let me see it. Okay, so this is zoomed in. Okay. So I was interviewed for 3 hours on this because I was watching an airplane. This is enhanced. This is a 6-second image that was taken by
Where
this
is
camera.
this
Sedona,
Oh,
south of the city. So I had, what you normally don't have is you take a picture in the sky, you can't tell speed, you can't tell distance from the ground, anything. So I have an airplane that was moving this direction.
Yeah, I know. I've seen this.
The frame was open for 6 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
So it brought in all the extra light, and it showed the stars were perfectly fixed, and this is the only thing that was moving. So you have to actually triangulate it between this star, and this star. So it looks, if you made a clock around it, it's about 10 o'clock position, right?
Mm-hmm.
It starts here, and then moves up, and there's a halo around it because it's actually glowing in the atmosphere. So that's dust that's glowing around it.
Mm-hmm.
Second picture, same shot. Now it moves the opposite direction. Okay, and so if you look at it, it's still between the same 3 stars. The airplane is now moved from here,
Yeah.
behind the tree line, here. So if you take the 6 seconds, add the number of dots here, you can actually get the actual how long the plane transponder was bleeping. Because the plane flashes its light every
Yeah.
second, whatever it is. So in 6 seconds, if it blips every second and a half, there'd be 9 dots on the airplane.
And that's good.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. So third picture, I moved the camera and I moved it over some. So these 3 stars are now going to be here. Okay. And you'll still see the base of the tree line in it. The base of the tree line, a little bit down there. You still see the airplane. On my other picture, you'll see it down at the bottom of it. But now look, it's changed directions completely. 3 different directions. Star pattern is still solid, so it didn't smear. This is not a smeared image. So then I zoom in. 3 stars. I made sure that the 3 stars were in between so you can see the actual position. First shot. Come on.
Mm.
So you can see it started here, went up, curved this direction, came back around, twisted again, came back this way, and then started
Like the
going up.
Kundalini. Yeah.
Okay? Then it started at the top where it was at and went down. So it started here, smeared there, and it became brighter. So maybe 1 or 2 seconds here, 4 seconds, 3 to 4 seconds here. Still the 3 stars.
The call's getting ready to start.
Yeah, I know. And then the last one. And these are the zoomed in versions right here. So here's first image,
Mm.
second image.
Mm. You think
So-
this is demonic activity going on?
No.
You really think they're from different galaxies?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I've seen it with night vision. I've seen spacecraft moving faster than anything that we have here, period. There's nothing that we have that goes more than about 4,000 to 6,000 miles
There's
an hour.
nothing that you know of.
That we know of, yeah.
But they used to be here on Earth, and then they left Earth and went and established their different...
Mom, the Hindu religion starts out with all of their gods and stuff came from the sky and basically interbred with us and had... that's how it all starts out. I mean, it comes from 6,000 years ago, way before Christ. Every ancient religion, if you look at their pictures, their things, there's UFOs and stuff that are in their symbols. There's a light in the sky. Even the Bible says, Ezekiel saw the wheel up way in the middle of the sky. What's a wheel in the sky? It's a ship. Here, so you can play with this. I'm going to do this. And you can see it's a much easier interface than, here's a home button here. There's mail. This is your mail here. And you can move up and down your mail. If you want to delete something, you move over like that. If you want to read it, you can do it really bigger. So much easier. Okay, I gotta get on my call.
Okay.
Thanks for the journey through memory lane.
Yeah.
Yeah. Off. A little bit.
Just put it in here and then heat it up. It's good.
Here. Hey guys, it's John again. I hope you enjoyed this recording. I ended up, pulling out a number of just extra pieces that really had no relevance to kind of her life, and just got just left most of the rest of the stuff in because it's just natural conversation, and it's kind of nice to have something like that overheard. But anyway, the recording is about an hour and 40 minutes now, and so this is the last recording of Mom having a really good cognizant conversation of her life before she went really downhill fast. And again, she passed on September the 6th of 2013 at 7:11 p.m. and had a number of people from her family beside her. And if you were there, of course, you know that you were there. So anyway, hope you enjoyed the recording, and take care. Bye-bye.